This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by the law offices of Tunnell and Raysor.
This one is for all of the husbands and the wives. Let's talk wedded bliss, rainbows and unicorns every single day.
Jimmy, you are not fooling anyone. Marriage is tough. It is hard work. And in some cases, it just doesn't work. That's when divorce might be an option to consider. But where do you start? What do you do? Leah stopped by the offices of Tunnell and Raysor to get some insight.
Ending a marriage is never easy. It's an extremely emotional process, and the future can seem very uncertain during these times. But having the support of a skilled Delaware lawyer can help to ensure that your rights are protected.
I've focused my practice on family law because I think that that's an area of the law where I can really help people through what turns out to be one of the most difficult times in their lives.
Family law matters can be daunting, and step one is to file the proper paperwork.
So you need to file in the state where you're currently living, either you or your spouse. Under Delaware law, you have to be a resident of the state for at least 6 months before you can file for divorce here.
It is important to have Tunnell and Raysor involved from the beginning of the divorce process,
so that we can make sure that the divorce petition is properly filed and that the requests for alimony and property division and court costs and attorney's fees are all made at the beginning of that process. If you don't do that, then there's a chance that you could waive those and the court wouldn't be able to hear those.
Another part of the divorce process includes you and your spouse being separated for a certain amount of time. But what does that mean in the eyes of the court?
So the court will not issue a final decree until you've been separated for at least 6 months. In Delaware, separation means either living separate and apart in separate households, or if you're living together, you can be separated if you're occupying separate bedrooms.
There are many reasons a marriage could end, and depending on those reasons, the length of the divorce process may vary.
So the court can issue the final decree after you've been separated for that 6-month period, if the grounds that you're alleging is incompatibility. A lot of people refer to that as a no-fault divorce. If you're going to allege fault, like adultery, then the court will oftentimes have to hold a hearing where you would have to come to court and prove that that was the case.
Ending a marriage is personal, and it can be scary to get a lawyer involved, but getting proper legal representation is a crucial step in getting through the complicated court process. And Tunnell and Raysor is prepared to help you through it.
Actually, getting the divorce, the piece of paper, is pretty easy, and most people could do that on their own. But it's the issues that come up after that that are really complicated and that require legal representation, competent legal representation. Child support, child custody, property division, alimony, those are all pretty complex legal issues that you're going to want a competent attorney to help you with.
It's very difficult to know what to expect when going through the divorce process, which can take many people by surprise.
I think most people don't realize that they're going to have less of everything, less time with their kids, less income, less assets. All of those things are kind of the casualties of divorce that people often don't think about until it's happening.
So, who handles dividing assets? The divorcing parties, the court? Tunnell and Raysor will help you come to the best decision through this difficult time.
I always encourage clients to try to work those issues out between themselves and avoid litigation. If you can get those issues resolved, you're going to save a lot of time and a lot of money. I often tell clients that there's really only one winner if they litigate the case, and that's me, the lawyer, because I get paid a lot of money to do that. But if they can figure those issues out ahead of time, that's the best possible scenario.
Maybe the process of divorce sounds too expensive, too complicated, or maybe even just something separating parties don't want to go through, so they simply split up. Something that is commonly referred to as common law divorce.
If those issues come up and the parties want to stay married but separated, then a lawyer can help them with what's called a separation agreement to kind of sort those issues out.
So if you need legal protection in a family law situation, seek the experienced and compassionate lawyers at Tunnell and Raysor.
You know, we've heard from Dean since the start of Delmarva Life, and one thing we've learned is that he knows what he's talking about. And if you want contact information, we have it on delmarvalife.com.
Because he knows what he's talking about.
He knows what he's talking about.